Hey YouTube, this is Dean making another vid. If you like my content, please consider hitting the like button. Also, please consider subscribing, as it is very much appreciated. Well, I did that one up yesterday on the grinder. It's just a wheelchair rasp, really thick one. So I wanted to just do a non-forge striker, but the bloody thing doesn't spark. So that's interesting. It does throw the occasional spark. Let's see, I should have grabbed some sharps. Now, normally these files throw really nice sparks, but that is not what I expect from a file. I get normal strikers, even non-hardened ones, and they throw lots more sparks than that. Now, it does throw the occasional spark. You did see sparks, but it's not anywhere near what I had expected. I was dipping it while I was grinding it. I did use a cut-off wheel to cut it. It was too thick to snap. I tried snapping it in the vise, and I nearly ripped the vise out of the bench. But I did end up using a cut-off wheel. It is quite a thick striker, but so yeah, I am going to take it to the forge next time I go to the forge, and I'm going to throw it in there and quench it. So hopefully I will be able to get a better spark, get it sparking better when I harden it properly. Because yeah, it's an interesting thing. I don't ever see anything as a failure, because you always end up learning something through this. So yeah, I learned that not all files, even if they're old, because this is an old file, it's not a new one. It wasn't case hardened. I may have got it too hot. I may have annealed it somewhat as I was going. So yeah, because it definitely doesn't spark as good as any of the strikers I've seen from files. It should throw a lot more sparks than what it does. So yeah, it's interesting. It really threw me for a loop, actually, because that's not, even if I go onto flint, it doesn't throw sparks. Like the sharpest flint I've got, it doesn't throw sparks anywhere near as good. I've got embers there. It does get embers, but yeah, it's just not as good as what I expected it. So yeah, it's interesting. But I've got a couple of those rasps, so I wanted to test them out. So that was what was doing it. So yeah, I found out that even if you do get old files, they don't necessarily will throw good sparks for you if you do everything right. And I did, as far as going, I was dipping it all the time. I will admit it was only in a little cup of water, so I may need to get more water, because it is a large, thick rasp. I tried to grind down all the teeth because it was quite aggressive. But yeah, it was just a test one for me, because I wanted to test out the rasp, because yeah, I wanted to see how they sparked, because eventually I'll need to use these for strikers or whatever. I have given one to Lawson. He's going to make a knife out of one of them, so that'll be interesting too, to see how it goes. Yeah, so, but it is quite thick. I think I measured one of them. It's nearly 8 mils thick. So yeah, very thick steel of it. But yeah, it's heavy bloody thing. So yeah, it'll make it quite a nice strike plate when I throw it in the thingy. I think I'll normalise it once, and I might hot punch a hole through it too. So yeah, just because you can. But yeah, I might drop a lanyard hole, even though I won't put a lanyard on it. I'll drop a lanyard hole through it and then quench it, because it doesn't take much. And I definitely clean it up on the wire wheel, because I And I might hit it on the flatter too, and that'll take a lot of these, all the rough bits off it, because the rasps are incredibly, the file teeth on the rasps are very aggressive. So yeah, I did hit it up, take a lot of the harder, more aggressive teeth off that side, but I did leave it, and it is very dirty still. So yeah, I'll clean it up on the wire wheel, so that'll make it look a lot better too. So yeah, but it's just an interesting thing that it's the first time a file has not sparked very well for me, even though normally you can get them to spark just by snapping them off and grinding them, but this one, it does spark occasionally, but not as often as, there it is, sparking occasionally, but normally you get sparks dancing all over the place with it. Doesn't matter how often, how many times you strike it. Every strike you should get showers of sparks with it, which I normally do with every one of them. Anyway, want to report on that. So yeah, occasionally they don't spark as well as you would expect them to. So yeah, just something different. So we're all learning every time. So yeah, and that was from I'm pretty sure it was a Wiltshire rasp. So they're all old. They're at least a couple of decades old. So, and they're not case hardened. So they're all thoroughly hardened. The old Wiltshire rasps. Anyway, thanks for watching.